Before you've touched your coffee, there are already 3 people who want something from you. And by lunch, there are 7. By the time you sit down at night, you've spent the entire day responding to other people's needs, and somewhere in between all of that, you forgot to ask yourself what you actually wanted. And yet nobody made you do any of it. Every yes you gave was a choice, and every yes you gave to someone else was a no to something of your own. Your time, your energy, your own agenda. I spent years learning that the hard way. Saying no, it's not about rejection, but rather about selection. Every time we say yes to someone else, we're saying no to ourselves. Now, why weren't we taught this in school? For a long time, I would always say yes when really I meant no. I would say yes in the moment because I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to have the challenge and the comeback of why not and having to make up some imaginary reason on the spot. Well, after saying yes and immediately meaning to say no, I'd get an immediate regret because now I know that time's going to come towards this day of the event that I've said yes to, and I'm going to have to back out and decline it in some way. And it's going to be worse because they thought I've said yes all along and I'm coming or I'm going or I'm doing it, and I'm going to let them down much closer to the time. I've now, by saying yes, I've acquired all this dread and worry and stress about having to say no later on when I could have just said no. And a lot of the reason we do this, like I say, is because we're just worried about their reaction. But it's not quite that bad. The more times we say yes, the more things we need to do. The more things we need to do, it means the more time we spend on them. The more time we spend on them means the less time we've got for ourselves, our own goals, our own ambitions, and our own family and time. So be careful when you say yes, because it could ruin your day, your week, or even your life. I didn't get good at this straight away. It took a bit of practice. It's like when you go to the gym, you have to start on the lighter weights, work your way up to the big stuff. And that's what I did with this. I had to start saying no to the little trivial things, the things that didn't really matter. Maybe it was just a one person and not a group of people. Do you want an ice cream? No, really, honestly. When I actually decided to do this and I decided to practice saying no, I thought I'd start on something low stakes. Now, in my work at the time, I was probably not even 1 foot out the door. It was more like a foot and 2 toes out the door. I was leaving, I was gone, but they didn't know that. So I thought, this is a great opportunity for me to say no. April, financial year, new business, new clients, new money, etc., more work. So the boss comes to me and says, I've got a new client for you. Can you take this one on? Now, he knows that I was already full capacity, burnt out, to stressed, everything. But I said no. And normally I would be very worried about what would be coming my way, because I might even be worried about the security of my job. But I'm already going, so who cares? But anyway, what came back from me from the boss was quite surprising. All right, no worries. I'll find someone else to do it. Yeah, you will find someone else to do it. And someone else at my team who I know was just as busy as me said yes. Most likely because they don't want to say no and they're scared to have that challenge. And like I say about the job security and everything like that, they said yes. And what they've also said yes to is the additional stress, the additional consumption of time, the additional obligations, everything that comes with that word yes. And they could have said no, but they didn't. And that was an eye-opener for me. You know, it's really not the end of the world if you say no. It might not be that drama or that argument that you're thinking of. They might just breeze past it. They might hate you, they might not, but who cares? If they're going to hate you, then maybe that's a bit of an insight into the kind of person that you're dealing with. It's okay to say no. That's the purpose of this video. It can do you no good. It can take up all of your time, give you unnecessary stress, and we don't need it. We need to be really careful of the time that we all give away in our lives. We've only got 24 hours, right? Everyone's got that, you know that. So just be mindful about how you're selecting to use it, what you're choosing to say yes to, and how you deal with these. So the important thing is to protect your time, your energy, and use it and put it into things that really matter in your life. If someone asks you to do that thing that you don't want to do, go to that place, go for after work drinks, and you don't want to because you've seen them enough in the day, or you just particularly don't like them, just say no. Just say no. I don't want to. Because our worth is not tied to their approval. Quite simply, just do you.